Today on UMTV News, more hostages and prisoners released, but the war between Israel and Hamas continues. We'll give you more information on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East.
Plus, with the holiday season in full swing, some Christmas companies have found themselves in controversy. We'll tell you about the legal battle one Miami Christmas group is in the midst of.
And later on, the Dolphins continue their playoff push while Hurricanes football ended its season with a win and is bowl game eligible. But at what cost? We'll tell you about the changes coming to the roster next year. These stories and more ahead on UMTV News. It all starts right now. Hello and welcome to UMTV News. I'm Daniel Toll.
And I'm Ainsley Vetter. Thank you for joining us. Dozens of families in Israel are celebrating after loved ones were released by Hamas over the past 4 days. But more than 160 people remain held hostage, according to the Israeli Prime Minister's office. Negotiations over their release continue. Meanwhile, in Washington, lawmakers are negotiating additional aid to Israel. 9-year-old Ohad Munder running to his father, feeling his firm embrace, a hug they waited 49 days for. Ohad, his mother and grandmother were among the 69 hostages released by Hamas over the past 4 days. One of the youngest, Abigail Eden, who turned 4 while being held hostage, seen here smiling, surrounded by her grandparents, aunt, and uncle. Her parents were murdered by Hamas. For these families, reunions are a moment of relief they've waited weeks for, like Galia Mizrahi, whose cousin and children are seen being released in this video.
We are very relieved. We feel like a ton of brick has been lifted over our hearts.
But for many families, the desperation continues. More than 160 hostages remain captive by Hamas.
It's not done. We can't celebrate.
An agreement has been reached to extend the Israel-Hamas truce in Gaza by an additional 2 days, but it's unknown when the remaining hostages will be released. Meanwhile, in Washington, negotiations continue over aid for Israel as Congress returns to work this week.
We desperately need the supplemental funding that the president asked for.
Some progressives want restrictions on aid, with Senator Bernie Sanders asking for Israel to end what he calls indiscriminate bombing in Gaza before sending more money. Some conservatives want to see changes to immigration policies here at home before sending more foreign aid to allies like Israel and Ukraine. And just a short time ago, 30 more Palestinians were released from Israeli prisons. That's according to the Israeli Prison Service. The Israeli government says 12 hostages were released by Hamas today. 10 Israelis and 2 Thai nationals.
The suspect charged with shooting 3 Palestinian students in Vermont over the weekend has pleaded not guilty. James Eden is facing 3 charges of attempted murder in the 2nd degree. According to an affidavit, Eden allegedly shot the students Saturday night while they were out for a walk. All 3 had gunshot wounds. 2 are still in the hospital and 1 was released Monday night.
I believe the families fear that this was motivated by hate, that these young men were targeted because they were Arabs, that they were wearing keffiyehs. I think that is our fear.
The 3 students knew each other from childhood and all attended the same private, non-profit high school in the West Bank before coming to the United States to study. The attack comes amid a rise in anti-Muslim and anti-Arab incidents ever since the war between Israel and Hamas broke out last month.
Family, loved ones, and dignitaries have honored the memory of former First Lady Rosalind Carter. Carter died last week at the age of 96. Former President Jimmy Carter, who is 99 and receiving hospice care at home, attended Tuesday's service in Atlanta. A number of services are planned to honor Rosalind Carter this week. That includes a private funeral service for family and invited friends tomorrow.
If you found yourself scrolling for deals yesterday, you were not alone. Yesterday's Cyber Monday was the biggest online shopping day ever. Americans spent $12.4 billion according to Adobe Analytics. Sales beat expectations this year, rising nearly 10% from last year, and some popular buys included Hot Wheels, Mario Kart toys, smartwatches, televisions, and video game consoles. This comes after Americans spent nearly $10 billion on Black Friday.
And shopping leads us straight into the holiday season, and even if we don't get any snow here in Miami, there are definitely still plenty of holiday happenings around town. One seasonal fair in Miami is celebrating its 40th anniversary, and there's also a new holiday fair in town that's celebrating a controversy. Ethan Gainey is here live with the story. Ethan?
Yeah, Ainsley, for the first time ever, Miami residents have a choice of giant Christmas carnivals to attend. There's Santa's Enchanted Forest and there's Christmas Wonderland. But while you might assume that means double the joy, in this case, it meant a trip to court. For 40 years, Santa's Enchanted Forest has been providing holiday memories to families in Miami.
It's just a Miami tradition, and you get a lot of people here together, and you see the happiness in people's faces. They love it, the kids especially.
You forget about all your problems, you come here and have a great time. Everybody leaves happy.
Dubbed the world's largest holiday theme park, this super carnival has rides, games, all sorts of food, and most importantly, a Christmas spirit that's hard to create in hot and humid Miami.
It's kind of an experience you don't want to miss out on. Plus, it's nice to see Christmas lights, even in Miami.
Santa's is located in Medley, just north of Doral, but this is only the second year it's been there. In 2021, it was located in Hialeah, and before that, it was here at Tropical Park, where it was for 37 years before losing its lease in 2020. But as you can see off in the distance behind me, there's another mega Christmas fair set up here this year called Christmas Wonderland. Christmas Wonderland opened for its first season November 17th at Santa's old home.
There was a bunch of rides, good roller coasters, and just a bunch of good food.
So it offers much of the same as Santa's Enchanted Forest, which is one of the reasons Santa's Enchanted Forest tried to get a preliminary injunction to block Christmas Wonderland, suing its owners, Loud and Live Entertainment, as well as Miami-Dade County. The lawsuit alleges in part that LLE has engaged in a deliberate and calculated plan to copy nearly every aspect of what has made Santa's Enchanted Forest a Miami institution for nearly 40 years. Santa's also alleges that the county told them use of Tropical Park for a large-scale holiday fair must be competitively awarded, and then turned around and gave Loud and Live an exclusive permit without any chance for them to bid.
In Tropical Park, we had power. We would run power lines. We had the sewage done, everything done for the people that live in the trailers and whatnot. Here, we kind of had to start from scratch.
The latest is that the court denied the injunction, so everyone opened as planned. But while legal proceedings may jingle on, both these seasonal giants maintain the same goal of lighting up Miami with a holiday spirit. Santa's Enchanted Forest and Christmas Wonderland will both be open until January 7th. They're both around $45 for adults without tax, $35 for children, and for both of them, all rides are included in that fair. Reporting live for UMTV, I'm Ethan Gainey.
Thank you, Ethan. It's time for a short break for now, but when UMTV News returns. Some say nobody's perfect, but both latest on the two programs. And we told you about the Christmas Wonderland and Santa's Enchanted Forest, but we'll also tell you about the Christmas Palace. We'll be right back.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul.
Canes football wrapped up its regular season on Saturday with a win versus Boston College to improve to 7-5. The team now awaits its bowl game opponent and destination, but some players have already announced they will not be returning next season. As of yesterday afternoon, 4 players entered the transfer portal, including starting quarterback Tyler Van Dyke, defensive end Jafari Harvey, running back Don Chaney Jr., and linebacker Corey Flagg Jr.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, both of Miami's basketball teams are perfect to start the season. The men's and women's squads are both 5-0, and Miami is one of 8 schools in the country with undefeated basketball programs. The men's team has a chance to improve to 6-0 tonight when they take on the 12th-ranked Kentucky Wildcats on the road at 7:30 p.m. for the SEC Challenge, and the women play at 21st-ranked Mississippi State tomorrow at 7:15 p.m.
And another Miami team made history on Friday. The Miami Dolphins faced off with the New York Jets in the NFL's first ever Black Friday game. The game was full of highs and lows for the Dolphins. Safety Javon Holland ran back a 99-yard pick six in the second quarter. But things got scary when former Hurricanes star Jalen Phillips went down late in the fourth quarter. It was later confirmed to Phillips that he suffered a season-ending Achilles injury. Despite that, Dolphins go on to win 34-13 and will face off with the Commanders on Sunday in D.C.
Christmas is now less than a month away, and many people have started to get ready for it. But one store in town has been ready for Christmas all year long. Our reporter Vanessa Bonilla visited this spot full of Christmas spirit, and Vanessa joins us now live to tell us more about it. Vanessa?
Have you ever seen that huge sign by the South Turnpike in Hialeah that says The Christmas Palace? I've been seeing that sign for the past 23 years, and I've always wondered, why do they not take it off after the holiday season? Well, what I discovered was truly wonderful. It's that time of year again. Christmas is back. One of Miami's most iconic stores that conveys the Christmas spirit is the Christmas Palace. We spoke to the person who brought all the joyful energy to the Christmas Palace since the beginning. Some could even say he is Miami's very own Santa Claus.
To put smiles on kids' faces and see some of the young adults that were here 5, 6, 8 years old, and today they're 25 and 30 married with kids. It's truly amazing to watch.
The Christmas Palace has been open for 33 years, bringing Christmas magic to Miami since 1992. Located in Hialeah Gardens, the Christmas Palace manufactures most of its own products, making it impossible to find these unique Christmas decorations in any other store. One of the most iconic things about the Christmas Palace is that it's open year-round. Many employees are grateful to Jimmy for giving them a steady job where they get to feel the Christmas magic all year.
Well, I've been working with him for so long that it's almost like walking into my home and seeing a familiar face, you know? Yeah. He's a good boss. He recognizes your hard work. He encourages you to be creative.
Christmas Palace not only gives Jimmy a family, but it also brought him his Mrs. Claus.
I had ornaments for, 20 years before that we bought here. And we'd always put him up every year. So imagine when I meet him, I'm like, oh my God, I get to pick a different tree every year.
Like his Mrs. Claus, 95% of people in Hialeah are either from Cuba or another Latin American country. More than 90% of all Latinos celebrate Christmas.
I love getting the kids to go to the tree forest, and I say, oh, snow's in Hialeah, so then I bring them to the tree forest, and we have a button that, snow comes down and their faces just light up.
But how did it all start?
So all these showrooms set up for Christmas, and I said, wow, that would be a fun business to do. And I came home and I thought about, well, maybe I'll go back to that show and set up a little temporary store.
If only Jimmy knew his temporary store would grow to be one of the biggest Christmas stores in all of South Florida. You can truly feel the magic at the Christmas Palace. You won't want to miss it. The Christmas Palace has become iconic here in Miami. UM students won't want to miss it, especially if you wear a UM shirt to the Palace, because you get a 10% discount. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Vanessa Bonilla.
Thank you, Vanessa. And all the way in Washington, D.C., the White House is now all decked out and ready for Christmas. The 2023 White House holiday decor encourages people to embrace their inner child this holiday season. The decor includes some 15,000 feet of ribbon, 350 candles, and more than 34,000 ornaments throughout the complex. There are 98 Christmas trees in total. There are more than 142,000 holiday lights that decorate the trees, garlands, wreaths, and displays. There's also a gingerbread creation made with 30 pounds chocolate and 50 pounds of royal icing. Now, 50 pounds of royal icing. I love icing, and I don't think I could handle that. What about you?
50 pounds of icing? I think I can go 50 pounds of gingerbread. Or peppermint bark chocolate.
Ooh, peppermint bark chocolate. Now that's a good one.
Well, that's all we have for today for this edition of UMTV News.
Thank you for joining us this semester, and have a great day, Hurricanes.